Hello, hello to another wonderful 1 versus 1. Today I'll bring you the OKW by borobadger versus Salareukt, Soviet Horde. Apologies for the delay in videos. I've been a bit busy and I wasn't quite up to the task as well. But I finally got my job, so I'm now officially driving out some medicine for a pharmacy, so I'm quite happy about that. So I'm actually getting out and about during the corona crisis, whereas everybody else has to stay in. So that's good news for me, and let's see if these guys have some good news for us in terms of a good game. Well, those Sturm Pioneers are gonna tear these engineers a new one. Those conscripts are not quite in position to support, a nice use of shot blockers. But manages to get away without much damage. Nice job. Well done. So looks like both of our players deciding that the bottom side is theirs for the taking. It's gonna be quite hotly contested. I've also been enjoying the new expansion for Stellaris the last couple days and the new league for PoE. So that's what I've been doing during this little bit of a quarantine situation. We're not quite quarantined where I live, but public, you can't be around more than 2 or 3 public figures at the moment, so it does get a little bit lonesome. Okay, borobadger deciding that engagement for him, that rewards him with the fuel. Close to getting that munitions capped. What's it look like? Salareukt is not too far behind in terms of resources, thanks to the additional strategic sector he captured a little bit earlier. Yes, he's jockeying for cover position here, but he's gonna get into the green one, so like probably just the 2 of them over here have green cover. The rest is in the yellow of the fuel barrels? Yeah, fuel barrels. We're just standing in the middle of nowhere on a pallet. Someone's gotta get an earful for just wasting fuel out in nowhere. Apparently I can't speak today, but that's nothing new, I guess. So Salareukt deciding to grab the north for himself, whereas borobadger is rather trying to defend what he's got. Sets up some really nice sandbags here, uses the natural yellow cover to deny this direction to be those sandbags used against him. Was that a proper sentence? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe you'll bear with me, and maybe you go. But I do hope you bear with me. So we've got 4 conscripts versus double Volks and double Fusiliers. Pretty good stuff. The double Vox Grenadiers will afford him some rather close to long range squads for the late game, for contesting around these shot blockers here, whereas the Panzer Fusiliers will do just fine, either upgrading with recon package, and if he gets really hard pressured, we might even see a Panzer Schreck. Nice flank by the Sturm Pioneers, is gonna decide this one pretty quickly. Did get some decent damage on the Vox Grenadiers, but that was a lot of nice XP for the Storms. So that's always very nice for the OKW. No, haven't dropped the model yet. Oh wow, that was a fast spin. Usually you always have to wait like 2 seconds for these guys to turn around, but they just spun on a dime. But still decides for full retreat. Interesting. We would have focused the Sturm Pioneers down. That's a risky business. I understand why he's going up, but now he's giving up the entire map for it, so gonna see what he's gonna do to come back from that. And gets on a cutoff. Gets even a cutoff for the munitions. So even further delayed for Salareukt. Or I'm gonna go with wrecked, even though it's probably not correct. But in case you're watching, don't be too offended, please. So support weapon company are coming up. I'm gonna see either some MGs, or we're just skipping that for the fast T70, which is the usual play. We don't have any healing. Ah, wait, never mind. As we're speaking, healing is coming up, so he's not gonna spend his precious munitions on the medical supplies. But that's always the annoying part about healing. The timing is usually in a way that you take an engagement just beforehand on low health, and then you just drop models regardless, and then basically you just have to get new models fresh from the recruiting platform. Anyway. Well, okay, okay. Does see it. Soft retreats, not bad. Still has to be a bit cautious. Might see a merge here into the Flamer Engineer. No, we do not. No, they weren't really in cover. Most of the models were not, so the Flamer didn't do that much damage. So all in all, not bad. So we're actually seeing a flak half track, which is quite interesting. I always like myself a good flak half track. I think one of my favorites games ever was when I had a VET 5 flak half track and a VET 5 Command Panther, and the flak half track just literally shot across the screen. Pretty good Panzer Fusilier grenades here by borobadger, I've gotta say. Oh, maybe we should say Salareukt is dodging them not very diligently. So the support maxim coming up and deciding for the Fusiliers that they want to be at home. Meanwhile, conscripts capping in the south. Nice job. So gonna be quite a while away from the T-70 unless he decides to not reinforce anything. So I'm curious if he does that. A bit of a noob trap, I'd say, putting your MG into the building while you could cap after you just forced off the majority of your enemy's forces. I know it's always scary to get him caught out, but I think I'm gonna say like 7 out of 10 times you're gonna profit from moving those forward and capping. Just put them behind that sandbag, let them face here. If you're scared, you can jump into garrison and then jump out, and then use the engineers to capture something else. So get caught out laying a mine, but nice attempt. Oh, there we go. I was about to say, surprised they weren't suppressed yet. So Salareukt capping the middle quite nicely. Oh, but he didn't finish the suppression here, so the engineers are actually gonna get the cap off. Not the best thing against heavy cover, but it does compared to MGs, it does get suppression off more easily against heavy cover, even on long range. So is he gonna, looks like he's gonna test him if he has grenades, and indeed he does not, so that's a bit of a long way. Okay, it hasn't lost line of sight, but only loses 1 model. Lucky break. Oh, these conscripts are in danger. Storm Pioneers on your retreat is not something I recommend for your health. Veteran C2. Okay, it's weapon control under fire, which I still don't know what that means. Oh no, he jumped out. And the Storm Pioneers just breached and cleared straight after them. That's a pretty good position for the Fusiliers. Should get some decent value. He's gonna lose eventually, but he can stall nice and long for the flak half track to come in, and could actually flank with the Storm Pioneers down here. But looks like he's just microing everything else up here. Actually have a Zis gun now for Salareukt. But that looks like it's just coming on the field. Oh, the MG has to be careful, the heavy cover just went. Oh, a little bit late there. Ooh, that Zis barrage was clutch. Good job there. Meanwhile, the north is getting pressured. G43 fans of Fusiliers, I want to call them Pilgrims. I'm gonna get some decent value, but decides to conserve his manpower. Yeah, good choice there. Alright. Oh, engineers actually sniped something on retreat. That's a rare sight. Nice use of the flak half track. I wouldn't say... well, decided some engagements here. not the most offensive of vehicles, but there we go. Get some nice kills, up to 5 now. Veteran C1 gives him the smoke for, ooh, that's cheap, 50 munitions. There we go. AT gun grazes the buttocks of our little flak half-track. And with graze, I mean punch through. And Salareukt is back on the field. Very nice. Good job. So it looks like to be a pretty even game. Schwere coming up down south on the cutoff. Ah, southeast, I should say. Veteran C2 engineers already. Veteran C2. I wanted to say something different there, but I have no idea what it was. Okay, safety Raketen coming in, just in case the T-70 approaches. Which seems to be still quite a ways away. No Tankovi battalion as of yet. Most likely because he's been bleeding with the 4 cons quite heavily. In terms of KD, I think I'm gonna give it to borobadger. But Salareukt, he just hasn't gotten enough value out of the half-track. Ooh, but speaking of which... Oh, and the headquarters... Oh no, that's just finishing. I thought that was the upgrade finishing. That would have been very deadly. Nice, getting some really good kills. Did he get the... No, he didn't. Ah, slight misplay here. Oh, maybe it wasn't a misplay. Probably was intentional. But might have gotten another model if he stayed. Ah, nice job. Uses the shot blocker here. And then a ground attack target. To grab these. Get some nice shots on the MG. But good job by Salareukt avoiding that. So you see, you can play the Soviets without a T-70 in the early game. It's pretty tough and manpower intensive, but it can work. As long as you don't lose anything. Question is, how long can you keep that up? The Obers are gonna hit the field. We do have the munitions, so borobadger a bit more active with his munitions here. Got a lot of upgrades. I don't know if he's laid any mines. Salareukt could place a lot of mines for the munitions he's got. Nice job. Uses the smoke here. It's gonna enable his little combat group, as we should call it, to move forward unimpeded. MG setting up for a flank in the south. Okay, yeah, decides to twist that thing. Pointed back north. Nice job. Borobadger splitting up, getting on the cutoff. Very good job. Yeah. Sees the Soviet horde and decides to scarper. Good choice there. Keeps the manpower afloat. Okay, I haven't gotten actually an upgrade yet. Looks like he wants the MG34 on this wide open map. Oh god. That's quite a horde. But AT gun in a nice support position. Nice job there. Forces off the flak half track before the suppression kicks in, but he really needs to not use that as a combat group here. I mean, he's getting away with it for now. I just hope it's a spur of the moment thing and not a sign of things to come. Ooh, okay, nice. Gets the suppression and some decent damage on those Panzerfuzis, but the Obersoldaten on the flank convinced that MG to go home before it gets exploderized. Actually, I'm curious. When I think it's Veteran C2 they get weapon to accuracy. Yes, indeed. And there we go. MG has been purchased, so that's gonna rip those engineers a new one and gives them some nice XP. Looks like he wants to deny the cap as long as he can, so he actually walks into them, takes some damage. Not too bad. Oh god, but here comes the horde again. Okay, at least he splits some of them off. But really nice positioning. But the flak half track always pretty snappy on that part. Ooh, good grenade, but the heavy cover from the rail car saves those conscripts for the time being. So he did lose 2 models, so I'm gonna call this like probably a little bit of a better trade for borobadger. But Obers are fairly expensive. We're gonna check in just a spell. So at the moment these guys cost 20 without the upgrade. And these boys 40. So basically if you see 2 conscripts die for 1 Ober, it's worth it. But I said it's an even trade. So we lost roughly 4 conscripts there, so that's fairly even. T-34 doing a nice job on the north, forcing that off. Did rush that out rather than T-70, so gets rewarded in that regard. Also, all the while, he knew if he would have needed something bigger, thanks to the radio intercept, which we probably should actually swap over so we can hear both of the voice lines for the players. I wonder if we're gonna see a vehicle before the Tiger. We have a second rocket now. Well, probably for quite a while. Ooh, nice job. Catches the MG out again. But Fancy Fusiliers are pretty close to some boys here. Might want to reinforce that with some conscripts when the situation arises. Opportunity, I should say. My idioms are pretty off today, but we'll get there. Ooh, good shot by the T-34-85. Get some nice XP for that boy. Those were 2 94 XP ticks. Meanwhile, at the south. Ooh, gets the mine with a grenade. That was pretty lucky. He might have known about it. I don't think so. Engineers do get out of there. T-34-85, still pretty healthy. Ooh, that thing has just been shooting them. Aiming like a badass motherfucker. God damn. Very rare you see T-34s that accurate. Don't get used to it. Ooh, did he get out? Looks like he... No, he did not get out of line of sight. Oh, we're having a nice ground target here. You should not stay. That's a Vet 3 engineer. You do not want to lose that. Because if you lose that, you're going to have to spend a lot of munitions on the vehicle crew self-repair. He does have them. Oh no. Is that a shift order? Looks like he was trying to get line of sight. Nice job. Forces of 1 Raketen. Makes the T-34-85's job a little bit easier. A bit blobby up north again. But so far he's always... just been able to avoid the blob counter, but here we go. Ah, that was really unlucky for borobadger here, the reload. But we'll get it eventually. AT gun forced off though. Oh, okay, did not get the Faust off. I'm actually very surprised at how little damage they took over there. 15 kills, Vet 2 for our little Flakhaft track that could. Oh, but has to reposition. The MG saves his Volksgrenadier, but the Sturm Pioneers do get pummeled regardless. Ooh, Jesus, that T-34 is popping off. God damn. But Obersoldaten classic from the front against an MG. But that was legit because the MG was turning like a ballerina. It just gets frustrating when you fight these guys from the front and they just keep sniping your gunner model. And you think, okay, that happened. You just have no chance whatsoever. Oh, the Vet 72 is ever so close. Just that accuracy for these boys. Turning them into absolute shredders. I need to say less absolute. It's probably one of my favorite words. And I should get rid of it. Oh! Now the Hero T-34 with a super aim should come here and teach these guys not to phase into each other. Raketten's waiting in ambush for that thing to rear its head again. So a bit of a lull in the engagement for now. Brute force up in the north, gets back onto the field, so trading of positions. Ooh, Raketten's decided to reposition just in the wrong moment. But this time the Obers don't get sniped. Nice job putting them behind the shot blocker. Here comes the Grand Offensive in the north. Just according to the battle plans. Looks like he did some friendly fire there thanks to the sandbag, but ooh, the Sturmpires. That should be a dead conscript. Nice job. Gonna check. Oh, the idle 2 might decrew both of these Raketens. Gets one. Oh, that was close. Obersoldaten do get away. Flak half-track was not set up to shoot that down. Tries to stop it from capping now, but only works on the planes as of yet. As of now, sorry. Hit for 85, pretty low. There we go. One plane coming down. No, but the other one does get another strafe off. Already up to 12 kills on a bad boy. Doesn't get any combat abilities for it yet, but he can cap points now. Because that's what you want of your medium tanks. Capping points. It is situationally useful, but definitely not as useful as the combat blitz. But here comes the big bad tiger on the hunt. Oh, but does get the engine damage. Looks like... Oh, nice flare there. Looks like we had a Panzer Fusilier flare in preparation for the tiger dive. I'm gonna have to check if that's correct, or if it's a tripwire flare mine of the Soviets. Oh, the tiger very out of position here. Was a little bit greedy, trying to get that dive. Okay, looks like we're not utilizing the vehicle crew repair here. Oh no, the flak half-track goes down. Nice shot. Might enable the tiger to decrew the AT gun though, but oh, never mind. The Raketen is in support, but what is that? The OKW commander ability. Command tank ability. Does force the Raketen off. Oh, the Sturmpeil needs to be careful. That 4, they might go down. Tiger, save them. Oh, now it's their turn to be scared. Oof. He's trying to keep line of sight of it. T-34 going back in, but the massive kill from the Tiger and the super long-range anti-tank rifle grenade. Just came out of the shop, has to go straight back in. Nearly completely destroyed. So both players very greedy here. Staying a bit too long in the engagement, but borobadger looks for the most part to have gotten the better of it. Especially not losing those Vet 4 Sturms. This would be such a huge loss, especially with the Tiger so low. And no other... the vehicle... What's it called? The other command thingy, not upgraded. Or available. Oh, nice. Looks like he saw these guys being planted. He gets a nice kill on the... Well, I say kill. Diffusion of the mines with his little grenades. Does get the cap on the south. It's gonna stay a while. Oberst is not caring about that MG, but decide to care about those 15,000 conscripts coming their way. Let's go for the victory point up top, so we're starting to prioritize the victory points here. 391 to 325. Very even game so far. Still a bit too blobby, but he did force the Tiger off. But thanks to these bad boys, that thing's basically operational again. Well, this guy is not. Looks like we finally went through all those munitions earlier at some point. Yeah, thanks to the Al2 Sturmovik. Doesn't have the munitions to get the vehicle crew self-repair poppin'. 35 munitions, that's actually pretty cheap. Might wanna... Probably forgot about it. Tiger says hello again. But here come the AT guns. Oh, does break line of sight just in time. Yeah, these conscripts are not in the right neighborhood. Did he get the barrage off? No, he didn't. Doesn't have the munitions. How much is that? Oh, wow, that's only 80 munition. That's a very good barrage for that low of ammunition. Oh, he wasn't spotting it, but now he might. Doesn't get the wipe there. That could have easily been one. Bit of a lost opportunity there for Salareukt. Was micring down here against the Obers. What do you get on to rate of fire and targeting? That's every T-34 stream. Rip those fuel barrels. Oh, nice grenade. It's gonna stun these boys, enabling the Sturmpeis to stay in the fight, but they were so low that the machine gunner took care of them. Tiger bouncing a Raketten shot. Wow, and then gets a huge shot. But this barrage, yet again, the savior of the nation. Oh, nice. The flanking Raketten gets caught out by the Maxim. North is being capped. Good job there. So borobadger a little bit pushed back. But if he keeps working on those AT guns, it's gonna be in a decent spot. How far are we away from the IS-2? Just a couple. Just a little bit of manpower, really. We still haven't lost our engineers, which is good to see. Usually you see those guys dying when they're sorely needed, but not today. I like it. Looks like we did lose a Volksgrenadier at some point. I had to rebuild that one. I think I missed that one. Probably while all of this was going on in the middle here. So I could salvage the wreck here. I'd like to see it. 136 in terms of fuel. Close to a Panzer IV. But here we go. The beast from the east is arriving. While the rest of the boys are being pushed off. It is a beauty, isn't it? Immediately upgraded for the Dishka. When your barrel is nearly as long as your body, you might faint. Ah, and in typical IS-2 fashion, just rams everything except the target. So the Panzer Fusiliers do not eat the dust here. Oh, okay, I thought they were like phased into one here, but they were not. Good counter attack there by borobadger. Tiger already with red 1 with 18 kills. Holy hells. So does get the command Tiger, which is at the moment not the best ability, but it's gonna get the reduced fire rate removed in the next patch to encourage the use of it. Also gets the can't further use the Panzer Commander ability to not be able to self-spot, as you can see here. Basically spots for itself and then can drop some artillery on top of these AT guns for good measure. Oh, didn't reinforce that one because he was trying to get the IS-2 out. Might lose it, therefore. Oh, they had to teleport forwards. Needs to start running. Veteran C2 for 19 kills. T-3485. Nice job. Uses the Zis gun actually to cap the cutoff there. Ooh, that's when the IS-2 is good. If you can get the IS-2, if you can get the enemy between you and some heavy cover, then even the IS-2 can hit something. Ooh, IS-2 getting really penetrated here. Rare to see on max range. But he did bounce the successive shot there. Oh, what do we have here? Some more smoke to be able to push that MG. Nice job. Did get suppressed, but will be able to move there. Tiger bravely backing into action, and the T-34 is back on form. Snipes 2 Sturm Pioneer models. Nice job. Looks like the Tiger's on the hunt. Ooh, this MG is so clumped up. He might just... Oh god, I can't... Oh! Lucky machine gun there. T-34 with the max range penetration. Good job. Keeps the MG in the fight. Needs to start running. It's a Vet 3 MG, not something you want to lose. The nasty fuel barrel saving the day yet again. This time for the Soviets. Back up to 200 munitions. For the Soviet, we might see a combined IL-2 tank push down here. Oh, but the AT grenade just pushed that over the limit. And the AT gun's stuck around for too long. You have to get out of it immediately or you will suffer the consequences. Try to finish the shot off. You'd either have to commit to just lose it, but might maybe get the Tiger. Or get out of there immediately. Okay, there we go. Now comes the IL-2. Pardon me. Make sure we have a view on everything. Oh, IS-2 needs to come back. Oh, never mind. Does not need to come back in. Jesus Christ. Looks like the Panzer IV was penetrating. So that thing's pretty out of the fight. Oh, will we get another shot? No! The grenade saves the Jagdpanzer 4. Nice job there by borobadger. Not something you see used very often, are these Panzer Fusilier Grenadiers. And it's even rarer to see them work that effectively. They do okay in light cover, but they're pretty trash in green cover engagements. Oh, gets a snipe on the... was that a rebuild one? No, it was the same as this gun from earlier. Just re-decruit. Good job there. We're now getting up to Red 74 and Red 75. Panzer Fusiliers, 34 kills. 17 on these guys. Oh, there we go. They get pretty hammered. But... didn't lose any models, so can heal that up back in base. Good stuff. Meanwhile, grabbing the north. Very nice. We've got a very good game on our hands. 328 to 270. Soviet Horde is going for the south. Oh, and we have Veteran C2 for the Tiger. Even with greater accuracy and range already. It's gonna be even more terrifying. D-3485 back in action. Needs to use the vehicle crew self-repair on the IS-2. Get that thing back in the play as fast as possible. He really needs the Veteran C2 to stand a chance against the Tiger in a 1v1 situation. Yeah, Vet 5 Fusiliers should not have too much trouble with these conscripts down south. Maxim with Veteran C3 actually getting the suppression here on the Obersoldaten. Nice job. Oh, we see a grenade. Indeed, we do. Always hard to spot, but just a little bit too far forward. But did put them low enough, maybe for the rest to follow up. T-34 doing what it does best, and the Tiger is cleaning up the bottom. Ooh, that's a long way home, and that's a pretty clumped up. Ouch. And they're dead. Worthwhile. Tiger doing what Tiger does best. Killing conscripts. But T-3485 is just not having it. He's contesting the title for most efficient tank in the game. Jesus, 25 kills, especially the 25 infantry kills with T-3485. I don't see that too often. Does gain Veteran C2 for it. So IS-2 looks like it's finally being repaired. And he might wanna save the munitions for the L2 strike, and maybe that's why he's not using it. There we go. Good choice to setting it up out in the open. It's usually better against if you know the Tiger is onto you. Because then you guys are spread out, so you can only snipe one model after each other. And then you have a little bit of time to get some support. Oh no, the IS-2 is gonna drive into all of this AT. Oh, thank God he didn't drive any further. Thank God for Salareukt. Okay, this camera angle is not doing it for me here. There we go. Saw the glorious T-3485 shot. Saying goodbye to the Panzer Fusiliers. Let's see, 89 to 74 pop cap. So that's a very scary OKW army that we've got here. He could not afford a Panzer 4. Doesn't quite have the pop cap. I think he doesn't need anything more. All he just needs is veterancy, and he can start floating now. Oh, okay, he needs to get out with these guys again. There we go. Can't really afford anything anyway. Thanks, just because he has to reinforce so hard. But we probably should be seeing a Katyusha would be really good for Salareukt here. Okay, this prioritizes the S-85. It's not an awful shout, but you do want to get rid of these Raketenwerfers in a safe way. Yeah, and your AT guns are just gonna get so much more reliably sniped by the Tiger. And there it goes. The Vet... Was it actually Vet 3? I think it was Vet 3 Raketenwerfer for the Soviets. Gets decrewed, so that's a big problem. Yeah, Salareukt doesn't believe what he's seeing. Because the IS-2 just has really bad accuracy without the veterancy. Compared to the Tiger. Like, the saving grace of the IS-2 is its armor. It's just pens relatively reliably. I'm gonna say, like, you have like a 30% chance to penetrate that max range with most of your AT options. But yeah, he moves that thing out the front, and yeah, IS-2 is just reliably, unreliably T-34 is trying to take care of business. Tries to soft rotate the Rakettens and does get rewarded for it. And yet again, borobadger is getting away. So he's gotten lucky quite a bit of times here. Meanwhile, this combat group is gonna have no trouble mopping up these conscripts at this point in the game with that amount of veterancy. So the way to defeat a tiger in the current patch, which is gonna be changed, I think, this week. Or better said, like, in the patch before the patch hits. Let's put it that way. So you build 2 SE-85s, or maybe an SE-85 and an IS-2, mixed in with a T-34, and then you get a Katyusha to get either rid of the anti-tank options of your enemy, in terms of infantry or AT guns, or you ram and kill it with an off-map ability like anti-tank Overwatch. But he does not have access to that in that commander. So I'd really like to see a Katyusha right now. I think that is what he needs. I hope he thinks of it. And borobadger can just rest on his laurels so far, just get everything back into shape, and then try again. Salareukt is keeping to his north here, but the double Rakettens are just such a menace against the IS-2. Which is a surprise. They've been really reliably penetrating that from the front. They do not get a... Yeah, it's only at Vet 3 that they get a penetration bonus. But S-85 just out of range is trying to work on that, but the Panzer Fusiliers are forcing that off. So looks like Salareukt hasn't been playing too much in the last couple weeks and months. But the S-85, there you go. Oh, ye old reliable. Oh, and the Rakettenwerfer actually pushes it back into the Rakettens. Blocking the Tiger, sorry. But the Veterans with 3 reload rate. Oh no. Salareukt is now really being... At least get out of the line of fire here before you advance. Okay, finally we see a bounce on the IS-2. So borobadger getting out yet again. So Salareukt can't really get the decisive engagement here that it needs. Conscript's actually doing really well, thanks to the Panzer Fusiliers being on the move here. And they might actually end up winning this, because they have taken a lot of damage here. Just look at the fire rate of these bad boys in the late game. Just both of those squads popping off. But the conscripts do prevail by a hair's breadth. Blah. For some reason I can't say that word properly. Let's see. Okay, we still haven't... Get the Katyusha, moi! Get the Katyusha! Please! Rocket them into darkness. No, but here come the Vet 3. Obersoldaten 29 kills to their name. Oh, and can now heal themselves out of combat, so that's even better against conscripts, because they usually take a while to snipe their models. IS-2 back on the field. It's still only the Vet 5 Sturmpire working on it, but finally gets a good shot on with the IS-2. Ah, doesn't get the wipe there though. And walks into the Rakettens yet again. Looks like he's staying to try and get rid of that Raketten here. Broke line of sight for the second Raketten, but yet another penetration. And still no hits for the IS-2. AC-85 close to being ready. So we see a dive here. No, doesn't look like it. Decides to play itself. Not bad. There we go. There's the Katyusha. We've got a game again. Because otherwise I would be very concerned for Salareukt. He lost most of his support weapons. He's down to 3 conscripts. Whereas borobadger, I don't think he lost... Except for that one Volkskin that he replaced. I don't think he lost anything. And he did lose the flak half track. But other than that, just marvelous preservation. Just look at that veterancy lineup. Just absolute pandemonium. It looks like he's still... It's not decisive enough on the flank here. He's always running up there with one squad, relying on that veterancy. But these guys are actually punching way above their weight here with that amount of health, but there we go. Now they're paying for it. Running away there. Oh god, and the tiger is back in action. And that's a harsh retreat puff. I think that rail car is turning that retreat path into like a bit of a parable here. Which is not good running in front of IS-2s. Here we go! But looks like borobadger's getting away. Yes indeed. Not even a model dropped. Unfortunate there for Salareukt again. But buys him a little bit of a breather. Did I just hear a mine? I thought I did. Oh, this is out of position. Ah, it was the tiger that was firing in the middle. Okay, SC-85 needs to start kiting. Needs to pay attention. Oh, where's the Faust going? Looks like it's going into the IS-2. But IS-2 just about got the shot off before they could finish that animation. So, good stuff there. Kind of should think about a second SU-85. And then try to find the engagement with the conscripts. Find out where the Raketens are first. Rocket them and then push in with the tanks. I think that's his best chance. Let's see if he thinks of it. IS-2! Hey, there we go. Veterans 2, Veterans 2, finally. So that should make things a lot easier for him. If he keeps that thing alive. Vet 2 SU-85, by the way. Beautiful penetration and accuracy. It's gonna make these things think twice, but we do have improved armor now on the Jagdpanzer 4. And... oh, actually he gets increased sight, I didn't know that. So that's pretty nifty. Did he just grenade himself there? Side retreat. Looks like it. But Salareukt, even like, borobadger is very conservative, and I think he's splitting up very hard. But Salareukt always with a good harass down here. For some reason, the tiger just really wants to take care of the middle, prevent anything from there. But by doing that, he's constantly giving up the flanks. Jagdpanzer 4 should be able to sit in the middle, help out there. Okay, it is actually Molotov's upgrade now. Not a bad shout. Trying to win those engagements. And indeed, they do. Good job. Vet 23 for the tiger. Oh god, but a nice Vet 23 Raketen flank. This is tight. Ah, that's probably a dead IS-2. Oh, he finally bounces. But the tiger's so healthy. And looks like the Katyusha didn't get it. Okay, did force the retreat there. Oh, he might be a bit too ambitious now. Oh, gets the IS-2 long range. Veteran C4 for the tiger. Oh, I think he bounced. SC-85 going down thanks to the Jagdpanzer 4. He's trying to turn preemptive GG here. And a little bit of... I'm gonna say that that's understandable salt. From the Salareukt here. And it is really hard if you're not constantly up to date with the game. It's just you get surprised by these things once they change. And at the moment, that bad boy, it's a very good show of why that thing is quite OP. For the time being. But it's gonna get addressed shortly. And let's see if Salareukt is gonna stay in. Or if they're just talking it out until the surrender. So yes, solid effort from Salareukt. I think it's more inexperience for the current meta that was his doom. He expected too much of his eyes too, and didn't know that the tiger just takes the cake at the moment. And I really wish Relic would actually put up the patch notes onto the Steam news service, because I think most people do not know that this game is actually alive and active, and that there are patches coming out. So if you're not part of the CoH community, or get it through, I don't know, Relic newsletter, which might be a thing, I don't know, you really don't know that the game is actually getting patched. So GG, nice job, really excellent conservation by borobadger. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna call this one as inexperience for Salareukt, but very good effort. A little bit blowy with his conscripts, but other than that, pretty solid. So, that wasn't bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, I think that cast was a bit off, so I do apologize. Probably not my best one, but probably also not the worst out there. Ooh, 20,000 damage with Rakettenwerfers. That's pretty juicy. So yeah, most of those kills were probably in the last half of the game. Just trading up constantly. But Salareukt, well, he did trade up in the beginning as well, just for the virtue of 4 conscripts. But Salareukt did make it work, but just couldn't profit in the late game from it. Pretty even damaged out, actually. Really nice captures and losses. That's always the hallmark of a good game, and here just tanked. That is a pretty brutal graph for the poor Salareukt, man. GG, well done, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.